All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to today's live stream where we are going to do some live trading. We're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin, obviously, and the Forex market, and we're going to see if we can find any interesting setups here today. And I'm also going to walk you through my system, how I scan the markets, what I do, and all that fun stuff. All right, let's go. All right, so I'm going to start off by showing you guys an example of a trade setup using a combination of two different fib anchor points. And if you've been following me for a while, you know I like to use a concept called the RLC or RLZ, which is short for the reload zone, which is basically the area between 0.618 and the 0.786 right here. So this is the reload zone. Now, something I've done throughout the years is I've added the 50% here as well, because I do think the 50% level in combination with RLC, like the 50% level, creates a very good like some type of entry confirmation, or it just I'm gonna show you. All right, so we have CHF JPY here. We can use the replay function, right? And we're going to go to the 4 hour. We're going to be adding some moving averages here as well. So I know I'm jumping right into it, right? It's starting right away. But if you have any questions, if you have any questions on anything I covered today, just let me know. I'm here to help you guys. What I love about the work I'm doing, not only the fact that I'm trading, but I'm also the work I'm doing as a sort of a trading educator. Man, it's too early. I need some coffee. So the fact that I can help you guys is just wonderful, right? It's a win-win, right? Help you make money, and I'll get to help people. Anyway, so here's the 4 hour, right? Now obviously we can see that CHF JPY is in a pretty decent uptrend, right? Reaching a resistance area right here. You could say that if price starts going lower here, maybe below the 4 hour 20, I'd say this whole area right here is a new resistance area, and we're probably going lower. But if we see some type of bounce here and continuation, this would then be I would view this as a breakout of this resistance, right? So let's see what happens here on the 4 hour. So we get to move higher, right? We get to move higher here, and it's looking very good. It's definitely a breakout. You could call this a fake out, right? But then you have that bounce and the continuation. So first you kind of have a fake out, it's testing in a test breakout or whatever, and then you have the continuation. So if we see a top forming here, right? So if we see a top forming here, where would we want to be putting the fibs, right? Which lows and which highs would we use as our fib anchors? Well, I would say that it's going to be this low right here, because if you view this low and this high as the first attempt at a breakout, this would then be viewed as a failed breakout, especially with that 4 hour bearish engulfing candle. This would then be a failed breakout. But this second move that starts with that wick and ends somewhere up here would then be the correct fib anchor point. Now I can show you also that this right here is most likely also a bounce inside the reload zone. So if we select that low to that high, you'll find the reload zone right here, right on the weekly open. So this is like a bounce inside the reload zone, right? Now what you want to do is you want to fib this move, because we're looking for a trade, a continuation trade of this move. So we want to use the RLC, the fibs on this move right here. And what we want to do is we want to see price Now, if this is the high, let's see. Yes, we're now putting the high here. I want to go down to the 1 hour to kind of because the 4 hour right here, the moves and the trend is not very clear, but then on the 1 hour it becomes much more clean, right? The like the lows and the highs are much more clearly defined, right? And you can now also see the reload zone very clearly here. So the idea would be here that usually the best entries are taken inside the RLC, right? So when price now reaches the RLC, we're going to be looking for longs, right? And I'm going to show you two techniques here that I like to be using when trading the RLC. So first one is this one right here. So you have price coming in, and you can see how it's almost perfectly fills the whole reload zone right here. So you have that candle coming down right here. That's the candle coming down into the reload zone. It's now sure, it's below the 4 hour 20 EMA, but it's still in the right area, the area of confidence, right? So what we're waiting for here, we're waiting for some type of sign that is telling us that price is now wants to use this level as support. And I would say that that's a pretty good sign, right? That's a pretty good sign that this is a area where buyers are stepping in, right? So what you could do right here is just enter a long here, like a scalp. Important here is to put the stop loss below the reload zone, and if there's any nice little wick, obvious wick below, you'll put it below that one. So in this case, it would be right here. So this would then be the trade, right? Now you could, like for a scalp trade, this is a 2.47 R trade, which is pretty good, right? It's pretty good. So you could just take full profit up in this region, right? But if you're like me, you want to look for the bigger moves, the swing moves. What I like to do is I like to look at the 4 hour and try to determine a good level on the 4 hour. You can also see that if you put a horizontal level on that high, you'll see that wick almost perfectly hits that level as well. But looking at this overall trend right here, we could definitely assume that, if we put a horizontal level at these highs, it's not unlikely to see this level get hit, right? At least this level. Let's zoom in to get it more perfect, line it up more perfectly right here. So, it would kind of make sense to see a move up into that. I don't want to be gone. So what we do now is we know we have a horizontal level up here. So we're going to switch the fib template to this one with the TPs. Now look at this. This is what we call this is magic, right? This is what the magical part about TA, where stuff just aligns. You don't know why it aligns, it just does, right? And most of the time, it's scary how well this works out. Like the fact that what I like to call the extension RLC up here, the -618, the area between the -618 and the -786, what I'd like to call the extension reload zone, fits perfectly with that, with those highs right here. Now let me show you something else. Remember that we put the fibs on that low to that high based on the 4 hour, and we then said that price bounced around the reload zone here. Well, guess what this high is then, if we put that fib on here. That high comes in where? Right inside the extension reload zone, right? So this is why I've decided to name my system the RLC slingshot, because it's based on the fact that it's almost like a ping pong game, right? You have the reload zone here, the extension RLC here, then you have another RLC here and the extension RLC here, and it's almost like you're playing ping pong at or bouncing a bouncing ball up a pair of stair steps, right? So you the ball bounces in the long RLC here, and then reaches the extension RLC here to come down and bounce inside the long RLC, and then the extension RLC, just like it's happening right here, bounces inside the RLC here. That long RLC kind of acts as a slingshot where you see price comes down quite heavily into that area, and then slowly but surely the slingshot kind of gathers the energy necessary to build momentum to sling it up to the extension RLC right here, and then it comes back down, gathers momentum, and the idea is then to see it boom come up to the extension RLC once again, hence the RLC slingshot, right? Now, the idea here would then be to TP1 around 0, TP2 around -236, and then TP3 at the -618. The average R of this trade, if you follow my TP strategy, is then going to be 4.3, which is quite good, right? Now, this is one way of trading it. This is the riskier way of trading this type of setup on the 1 hour. What I like to be doing, and this is especially true with swing trading, I like to trade the swing trading on the 4 hour and not use the 1 hour much. This is more like this is more of a scalp type of trade where I go into the 1 hour. So I only take these trades on the 1 hour if I really know I have the time to monitor the trade throughout the day. Today, for example, I don't have the time, so I'm not going to be taking the scalp trades. But if this would be like, if I would take this trade up to that TP, like if I enter here, I could exit fully around this area, right? But if I want to take this trade, I'm going to be using a technique called, well, it's basically just an RLC within an RLC, right? So this is the main fib, right? This is the main fib and the main RLC. Now, what we want to do is we want to see him move here, come up here, right, and create a top here. And when that top is created, we're going to be adding a new reload zone from these lows right here to this high. And the goal here is for that lower time frame reload zone to be confluent with the 0.618 of the higher time frame fib. And this is really where this is the magic of the reload zone, right? This is incredible, right? So check this out. Price comes up, boom, hits resistance, which is would be very close, or actually hit that target of the scalp trade. So this is where, like, I mean, it kind of blows my mind when I first figured this out, because it's extremely profitable. It's extremely profitable if you're actively trading like this, right? Where you're combining scalping with swing trading. So the scalp would be this, right? You enter on that first 1 hour candle, right? And let's say you take profit. I would front run this whole area, right, and take profit right here, just for a quick 2.2 hour trade, a decent trade, right? But what you would do then is you now have a successful trade using the scalping technique, and now you add the fibs of this move right here from that low to this high. And what you see right here, you see the reload zone come in very nicely right here. So almost on the 0.618. And this is how you get the entries for the swing trade with much higher confirmation. Now you can enter right on the mid zone of that low time frame reload zone and use the same stop loss. Now the first entry was here, right? But the second entry is here. So the risk to reward is very, very similar. And the risk to reward is very, very similar, but the confirmation is much higher. So the risk is lower, but the reward is pretty much the same. And you can use the same fibs as profit target as the original fib. You're only using the RLC of the lower time frame to determine the entry point, not the exit point. The exit point is still based on the higher time frame fib. Look what happens now. Look what happens now. Price comes down, hits that level absolutely perfectly, right? And hits the 0.61 of the other fib right here. And now we're in a swing trade. Now we're in a swing trade, and we're looking to hold this for, well, in our case, like it's Friday, so maybe if I don't like to enter trades on Friday, because of weekend, whatever happens on the weekends and then Monday price action. So if I'm ever going to hold a trade over the weekend, I want to have that trade fairly secured throughout the weekend. But this is it, right? This is it. You see this, right? So what you want to do if you want to make the most out of this system, you're going to be combining scalping on the 1 hour with swing trading on the 4 hour and daily. So you can get the scalp entries for a quick trade. And when that trade's done, you wait for that scalp trade to confirm an entry for a swing trade, right? Which is just incredible. I can hear somebody's on my door. Somebody's on my door. Who's on my door? Vad är det? Men jag jobbar ute. All right, my son wants to show me something. All right, guys. So I guess we take a 10-second break. Lite mormor?
Ja.
Jättefin. Men du, jag sitter och jobbar och har en stream. Så du måste gå ut och stänga dörren, okej?
Ja, men...
Ta inte mina lampor nu. All right, so let's do... Can you say buy Bitcoin? Kom, kan du säga micken? Buy Bitcoin. Kan du säga det? Kom, säg micken. Buy Bitcoin.
Buy Bitcoin.
Här, säg.
Buy Bitcoin.
Nice. Okej, du kan gå ut och stänga dörren nu. Yeah, kids definitely keeping me busy. All right, we got Bitcoin right here. So what do we think about Bitcoin? He thinks we should be buying Bitcoin, but he's no trader. He has no idea about technical analysis, unfortunately. He's just an influencer. So we shouldn't be trusting him. He's not trustworthy. So what's happening here is Bitcoin is in a range, right? Pretty clear range right here. He also stole my candy yesterday, so I'm a little bit pissed. I bought this nice chocolate. Like I really like chocolate, right? So I bought this like expensive, nice chocolate, right? And I was in the shower and I got out and it's like chocolate all over the kitchen. I'm like, God damn it, man. Could have been worse though. Could have eaten my ledger. Not Kinder, man. Fuck Kinder. I shouldn't say that. Sorry, I shouldn't swear. YouTube's gonna demonetize me and ban me. All right, so Bitcoin is in a very clear range here, but I do like Kinder. I really do like Kinder. I'm not kidding. It's good stuff. Good stuff. So yeah, what's happening right now in Bitcoin is we're inside a very clear range here, and guys, like we have a question here. Someone saying long or short now. There's neither. You shouldn't be long. You shouldn't be shorting. You should not be, in my opinion, be trading this with a directioner. Like you shouldn't be having a taking a trade with a direction in mind here, unless it's like down to the lows or up to the highs. But you got to remember, like this type of price action right here is Belgium chocolate, like truffles is nice. But I do like Swedish chocolate is probably the best one. I don't know, guys, like Swedish milk chocolate. I'm like a kid. I like that, yeah. Never mind. Let's focus on trading. Get distracted thinking about chocolate. I shouldn't be eating chocolate because I get a migraine. Too much chocolate, I get migraine. It's worth it sometimes, but like once or twice a year, that's a bit, you know. So if you look at Bitcoin here, it's in the range, and you shouldn't like. You look at this price action right here, and you know it's going to take you out. It's you look at these wicks right here. Look at these. I mean, it's going to take you out. It's like stop loss hunting. Swedish fish. I don't eat fish, man. Fish is poisonous. The ocean is dying, and fish is bullshit. I don't eat fish. It that shit's poisonous. I do, however, if we fish, like we have local lakes, so we can get our own fish. That's cool. But man, for me, it's like meat. Mostly is meat. Mostly is red meat. I'm pretty sure vegetables is poison as well. My partner does not agree with me, and she kind of force feeds me vegetables, but mostly is meat. All right, let's change subject and chart here. So let's look at the altcoin indices right here. Yeah, I mean, you look at all perp here, right? So we have on FTX, we have a couple of altcoin indices right here. So you have the alt perp, the shit perp, the mid perp, the exchange perp, the DeFi, and the privacy coin index, and they're all pretty clearly in the same type of range right here. We've also done a scan a while back of some of the altcoins, right? And we can go to the daily and like, what's going on here? You know, it's not much going on. Like, it's just like, guys, you got to understand that for, you know, to be a successful trader, it's not all about, you know, just powering up your PC, opening up a chart and just taking a trade. So there's going to be conditions or and market conditions when you're not going to, you know, it's going to be hard for you to take a trade, right? Based on your system, whatever system you're using. So it's not about, you know, trying to find a setup. It's not about trying to find a setup. It's more about, you know, just being, you know, relaxed, calm, and you sit back and wait for that trade to come along, right? So that's the most important thing. You got to wait for the trade to come to you, not the other way around. So you can't really be hunting for a setup, right? Because the market will give you a setup when it's time for your system to be given a setup, right? And you don't know when that is. You don't know when that time comes along. So you wait. You sit on your hands and you wait. Now, that might be weird for most of you because you're thinking, you know, to be a professional trader, you have to have a steady income and you have to take trades regularly. And it's true in one sense, right? You can't be going, you know, having too long periods without taking a trade. So, I mean, you're not going to be able to wait, you know, 4 months to take a trade because you need to make money during those 4 months. But the truth is, in trading, you're going to have a couple of you know, you're going to have winning months and perhaps a couple of losing months, and you're going to have, you know, a couple of decent winners, but then you're going to have like maybe somewhere between 1 and 3 months a year where you're going to have like a really good month, right? And the money you make during the good month are you know, you're going to save that money to be able to make a living when the market gives you a shitty, like when the market conditions are shit like they are right now. All right. So I haven't taken a trade in crypto for quite some time, right? And that's also, yeah, man, this is a good one. This is a really good one. Trading in the Zone, fantastic book. There's a lot of fluff, not a lot of fluff, but I would say that there's a lot of stuff in that book that might not be like super important. I do want to like. What I like about that book is some of the stuff he's saying is quite obvious in hindsight, but sometimes it's nice to have somebody just tell you the obvious stuff, the stuff that you deep inside already know. So I would focus on, there's a few chapters called um, Thinking Like a Trader. I think it's a chapter called Thinking Like a Trader, Thinking in Probabilities, something like that, and the like chapter, I think it's 8, 9, and 10 and something like that, was focused on the mental aspect of trading, how, you know, what mental approach you should have in trading. Super good, super good. All right, so CHFJPY, like, yeah, this might be a loser. Like, I don't really care. This might be a loser, but the idea here was not to show you a winning trade, but to show you how you could use the reload zone, on the higher time frames and the lower time frames to find confluence with an area. So what we're gonna do now is we're not gonna look at the crypto market, because it's if you're out here looking for setups in the crypto market, you're gonna have a hard time, right? Yeah, I mean, sure, this might have given you something, right? But it's mostly at this point, I would say it's just a waiting game. And for me, because I'm also trading this is a good short though on Bitcoin Cash. We should just short this every day. So for me, that's also trading the Forex market. It's much easier for me to take a step back from crypto when it's like ranging, and then focus on the Forex market. So let's go through a couple of alerts here. So we have first USD/JPY, which is triggered right now. This is a trade on the. I've had an alert on for the link short. Let's look at that. Link short. Well, you know what? This actually looks quite strong. So Link is this. I think this is similar to Cardano, right? Yeah, kind of had a break in market structure. What I would do with Link here is, so we're hitting the area around the daily 50 EMA as resistance right here. And we can clearly see how we were in a range here. We kind of broke above the range here, created a higher high and the higher low, and then a strong move to the upside. Like, this would obviously have been the entry, right? The 4-hour bullish engulfing on the 4-hour 20 EMA, the daily 20 EMA, the weekly open, and the monthly open. That would have been a nice entry for a trade. And I'm pretty sure that would also be the reload zone of this fib right here. Yeah. So that would have been the trade, right? And I would then have held this either up to the minus 618 or the 50. So the question is now, would I short this? And I'm not so sure, because the 4-hour trend is quite bullish. So what we would need, like what I would want to happen before I short this is for, like, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. Like, it's not a terrible idea to short this. What I'm saying is, it's just not going to work with my system to short at current price. However, if we see this, right, maybe perhaps down here, right, so we see price maybe come down to this area and then retest this level, which would then be confluent with the daily 50. That's perhaps where I would look for long shorts down to the monthly open or the previous range highs. So let's say the trade might look something like this, perhaps. Yeah, probably. But it's then going to be like between the daily 50 and the daily 20 EMA, and I'm not really liking that. I don't really like trading when prices between the daily moving averages. I want them to be like, I want it to be obvious, right? So I want price to be really way below, way above both of the daily moving averages, with the moving averages giving us a clear trend. USD/JPY looks like it's perhaps wants to break this local trend. And if we do break this local trend, I'm ready to potentially open a long position a bit lower here. I'm also going to add an alert on the 4-hour 50 EMA. 4-hour 50 EMA. Right, so I already shorted it from 922. Where should I take profits? Let's see. 922. 922. So it's in 9.22. That's a good entry. That's a really good entry. So I would actually at this point put my stop loss right above the wicks. This is a really good entry, by the way. I would take 25% profit at around 80, like 8.55 area. I would then move my stops to entry at that level. I would then take 75% at the monthly open. So the risk to reward on this trade would be around 2.7, something like that. So this would be the trade if I'm in this. So the idea would be the same, right? You kind of come down here, right? So you take some profits here, perhaps move stops to entry, or just move stops here or something, right? And then just let it run down to the monthly open. You should also keep some tracks on the daily 20 EMA to see what the reaction is here. It's a little bit hard to give advice on a trade like this, because it's, even though I do like it, it's a decent trade. I don't think, like, it's not really according to my system, and this is just not the way I'm used to be trading. But this is what I would do if I would be in a trade with an entry around 9.22. This is a good question, right? So how am I trading altcoins in relationship to what is happening with Bitcoin? Right. Well, it's kind of like what I tried to explain here in the beginning. So what I do is, like, Bitcoin, Bitcoin is king, right? Bitcoin is king of the crypto market. Whatever Bitcoin does, all coins will follow. Now, of course, you have some coins like Link and Cardano and perhaps some more. That's kind of like showing a local uptrend, but most of them are hitting the daily 50 here on Cardano, just like Link. So when Bitcoin is in a range like this and in an overall high time frame downtrend, yes, I would definitely be interested in trading altcoins like this one and perhaps Link. If I would have seen Link here, if this would have caught my attention here, I would probably have taken this trade, because it's actually very, very clean, right? It's very clean. I would probably have taken that trade, but I would only take this trade. Only one trade, 1% risk on this trade, only one position, right? Because if Bitcoin decides to break down when Link is doing this, obviously Link will break down as well. And I do feel like the probability of Bitcoin breaking down is, it's kind of like 50-50. So it's just a gamble, right? So you got to be very careful. However, if Bitcoin breaks out like this, right, and all coins starts to trend, like Link, for example, starts trending like this, it's above the daily moving average, that's when I can enter either enter a altcoin trade with more risk, or enter multiple altcoin positions, and that would then be the same risk, but on, because you combine the risk, right? So whatever Bitcoin's doing is kind of giving me a guide on how I should be approaching the altcoin market, right? Right, so let's go through some alerts here. We got the USD JPY. I'm putting one alert here as well on one alert above. So I'm removing that one. We got UK 100 is another alert. UK 100 broke down, right? So we are potentially going to see a short on UK 100 next week. So we're putting in an alert right here on the 4-hour 20. You know what? You know, I did say that this would be a trade I would take, and we're at entry now. So you know, let's take the trade. All right, because I did not enter this one because I missed it, right? But now it's actually at entry, so I'm gonna take it just because I wanna, you know, it feels kind of weird if I'm telling you guys that this should be a good trade, but I won't take the trade myself, right? So I'm just gonna market enter with this one. And we'll see how it goes. It's still a decent trade. And I'll put in right here. So this is based on 1 hour, so I'm risking 0.5%. Normally when I'm swing trading, I'm risking 1%, but when I'm trading on the 1 hour, which is not part of my overall trading plan, I risk 0.5%, right? All right. All right, so I'm in this one. Market entered on CHFJPY. I'm just going to monitor this one throughout the day using alerts. I do jog. I run. I don't jog. I run very, very quickly under a very short amount of time. But I'm having some trouble with my legs. I'm getting like the I don't know what it's called in English, but like the front part of my lower part of my legs is like really hurting after a couple of sessions. So I figured it might be something with my shoes. But then I started running in the woods. So if I'm only in the woods running, it gets better. But I can only run like 2 times a week before it gets bad. So I want to try to run. You know, my plan is to run 3 times a week. But I'm only going to be sticking on shin. Whoa, like everyone says, yeah, you're probably right. Where can we see more of your content? You want to see me run or trade? I can send you some videos of me running if you like that. If you have another request of videos you'd like me to do, just let me know. Yeah, can do more warm up. Well, where can you see more of my content, right? So more of my content you can see on Twitter. So I'm at libs42 on Twitter. I also actually have my own YouTube channel, which is surprisingly enough called libs42 on YouTube. I haven't uploaded the video in a very long time, but yeah, without saying too much, there might be something coming to that channel in the future. But definitely, you know, check out my Twitter profile. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on, and there's a lot of interesting stuff going on for me for the future. So you definitely want to keep your eyes on my Twitter page. So yeah, this is great. I'm probably gonna get stopped out on this one. This is my initial feeling, but I don't care. I do actually care, but I don't care. All right, the CAD JPY. This is wow. Look at that. I never look at that. Look at that trend line. So I put this trend line on from that low to that low. Look at how perfectly it hit right here. That's pretty amazing. All right, so we're seeing a move lower here for CAD JPY as well. So the idea here is I would want to go long a bit lower. So I'm putting in an alert on CAD JPY crossing the 4-hour 20. So I actually don't have a lot of time left for this live stream. I have a meeting coming up right after this live stream. AUD USD. Look at this. This is now starting to enter an area for a potential short, right? So I'm putting an alert right here, maybe one higher, somewhere here, and also one below to kind of alert me if this gets invalidated. CHF JPY, this is the one we're in right now. AUD JPY, we looked at this one, I believe. Let's put an alert right here. So I've been monitoring these pairs for about 2 weeks now. I've taken one trade in 2 weeks, and it's all about waiting for price to give you what you're looking for. So all the way back in end of May, right? End of May, we had that breakout, right? So I had an alert right here that alerted me to this breakout, right? So I've been waiting now for 56 years. 56 days, not 56 years. Not that old. 56 days I've been waiting for this to start retracing, right? And that is what trading is all about. All right, so if you're trading crypto, there's an exchange called Prime XBT. That's the one you should be using. Definitely check that out if you're trading the crypto markets and you want to, try the Forex market out. Prime XBT allows you to use your crypto and trade the Forex market with crypto as collateral. So definitely check that out. Anyway, this is what trading is all about. Waiting, right? And now 56 days later, it starts to retrace, right? Now, of course, I'm not only looking at this, I'm looking at other pairs as well. But what I'm saying is, like, sit on your hands, right? If you have money, don't waste it by, getting in on bad trades that just makes no sense. Like perhaps this one, but it's a scalper's trade and I risked 0.5%. So it's like I'm almost expecting this to get stopped out, and that's actually an interesting thing that I believe most people should be doing. Like right when you enter a trade, right before you enter a trade, you have to tell yourself that most likely this idea is going to get stopped out, because like most traders out there, and I'm definitely one of them, most professional traders out there, like we don't have like 70 or 80% win rate. Surprise, this shit you see on Twitter, people saying like, oh, I got 90%, 90% win rate. I 10x my portfolio last month. Like, guys, that's it's fairy tales, right? It doesn't exist. It's like might happen once and then they'll get completely wrecked and never trade again. Like that doesn't happen. Mostly the professional traders that I know, that I talk to every day, we have around 40 to 50% win rate, right? And you'll say, well, how are you able to make money if you have a 40% win rate? That means you lose more than you win. Yes, but the losers are always the same size. The losers is always, in my case, a 1% loser, or in this scalp, a 0.5% loser. But the winners, on average, they're going to be like 2R or 3R, right? So if you have, for every winner, you have 2 losers. So the 2 losers is a minus 2R. But if that winner is above 2R on average, you're going to be profitable, right? You're going to be profitable, losing more than you're actually winning. And that's how you make money in trading. So therefore, if I have a win rate that is like 49%, I know that the probability of this trade being a loser is higher than the probability of this being a winner. So what should you be doing, right? Right before you enter a trade, what you should be doing is tell yourself that this trade will be a loser. This trade will be a loser. This trade will be a loser. My stop loss will get hit. You repeat that and you tell yourself that the stop loss is going to get hit. This will be a loser. You need to condition yourself into understanding and knowing that you're most likely going to be losing this trade, so that you won't get surprised when it gets, hits your stop loss. Because if you get surprised when it hits your stop loss, you're going to start revenge trading. You're going to start feeling negative emotions, and those negative emotions is going to fuel a unnecessary losing streak, and that losing streak can become quite bad if you haven't accepted the risk of the trade. So always accept the risk of the trade before you enter. All right, so that's all the alerts I've had. I'm seeing today. Euro NCD. Now this is interesting. What do we have in terms of news today? Where do we have the economic calendar? Let's check. See, I only have a couple of minutes left. Only a couple of minutes. If you have any questions, let me know. But I only have a couple of minutes before I have to switch to that meeting. So today we have CPI. Is that? Yeah, so major news event today. Major news day. We have major news event coming out for Canada and USA. So this is USA, America, yeah. CPI for the US. That is going to most likely move the markets. Perhaps might even affect Bitcoin as well. It has almost every time in the past affected Bitcoin's price action. So definitely keep that in mind. So with that in mind, I might not be trading today at all. And I just said that right after taking a trade. So I'm not going to be taking more trades today, most likely. However, I like Euro NCD here. Why? Because that low to that high, where do we have the reload zone? Price is actually below the reload zone here. All right, so that might not be a trade. Let's look at the 1 hour. What's the 1 hour doing right here? Yeah, I think it's we need to wait for something to happen here. So that's not going to be a trade here. Let's put an alert down here and one above here. All right, guys. So I've went through the alerts, and that's usually what I do. On a daily basis, I just go through my alerts, and whenever I have an alert on a chart, I add new alerts on that chart. So there's always going to be alert on every pair that I'm watching. So it's like a part of my market scanning technique is just going through all the alerts. All right, guys, I'm getting notifications and calls and stuff. People are asking me where I am, so I should probably be somewhere else. All right, guys, thanks for today. It's been a little bit messy, but hopefully that first example with the reload zone, the fibs, gave you some interesting insights on how you can use a combination of high time frame fibs and low time frame fibs to find the Fibonacci areas of confidence, which is really, really powerful, especially when scalping. All right, guys, take care and see you guys in the next one. Take care.